This is Jordan Tower with JT News. Make sure you smash that like button, smash that subscribe, and let's get right into the news. All right, so yes, we have to talk about Drake's album a little bit more, but we have some new news in here, so make sure you just watch it. I'm gonna go through it really fast. All right, so we got obviously The Game pretending he's still besties with Drake, but The Game's too close to Kendrick and all that other stuff. Even though Kendrick doesn't really mess with him, he's still a West Coast guy. I know that there's these. It looked like Drake sent him a jet before. Show me a picture with him and Drake recently. Why would Drake send him a jet, take him to Toronto, and you don't think Game posts everything? He didn't post a picture with him and Drake? Stop. I'm sure they're still cordial. I think Drake keeps him at a distance. Okay. Drake's not only he's only having people around that are really for him right now. That's very smart. So yes, this album came out. Khaled still posting. Khaled still upset that Drake dissed him. Khaled, you got called out, bro. Because you're a snake, bro. You're a snake. You are a snake. You snake everybody, man. People just don't talk about Khaled being a snake, but he is, all right? Allegedly, but he is, all right? Allegedly. He says, let God rise. I'm sure this is off of Movado. Let's see, Movado on the rise. He posted that song, and then he says, God rise. He turns to dance hall when everybody turns their back on him, right? Which is there's no problem, right? But it's like, let's see, Movado on the rise. See, here it is. Yeah, we rise every up, no holding down. Okay, so I'm sure these are lyrics from this song. I'm not a big Movado fan. I know a few songs of his. But it says, let God rise and all his enemies scatter. Rise and shine, blessed and highly favored. The water is holy, God water. I don't know if this is from the song or not, to be honest. But he's been quoting a lot of dance hall songs. Now, Movado used to be signed to We The Best for a while. Khaled did absolutely nothing for Movado's career because he dropped everybody once his career started to get another boost in it, right? Khaled's career was kind of like for a second, but then he got that boost from Snapchat, which is good, all right? But Khaled uses people. Movado didn't serve a purpose anymore, and now he's using these lyrics to talk about Drake. And then I see every day, this is how you know, listen, I'm a strong believer in God. And my relationship with God is very personal. It's for me and my wife and my family, I don't feel, and once in a while I talk about it publicly, but it's a personal relationship. Your religion is a personal relationship, But Khaled wants everybody to believe that he's a holy person, So he's always talking about it in his videos and this, because he wants people to believe that he's just this great person, a man of God, when really he does a lot of people bad. He just does, okay? I'm just telling you the truth. And this isn't like a personal thing because he never paid me that $2,500. That's a funny story. That money would not have changed my life. It was a character thing to me when he did that. I was like, you got to be kidding me. This guy was gonna chop down. He pretended like he was gonna chop down a cabinet to pay me the $2,500 he owed me, and I said, nah, just wire it to me tomorrow. He never did that, but then still proceeded to talk to me afterwards. Like, money. Cut you a deal on this stuff. It was just like a character thing. It was really his character right there to me was like, oh, this guy's just like has no morals and principles. You almost have to have him back him in a corner, because he was doing an experimental project with another artist. This wasn't about Ace Hood. It was about a different artist called Red Rum that he had signed, and it wasn't. He thought he would get a deal after 4 videos with the guy, and he could pay me out of that. This is a guy who was driving a Rolls Royce at the time. Yeah, he wouldn't part with $2,500, which is insane. But he'll put new tile on in his kitchen or whatever. It's like people like him You know, I just don't. You just let it go. So he called them. He doesn't stand for his people, and he showed his true colors. And he used the Drake beat to try to promote a single he had with Drake. It was just, and showed no support for Drake during the beef. These are people that Drake helped, mind you. Rick Ross was helped a lot by Drake. I don't care what Rick Ross says. Rick Ross was helped a lot. He's kept afloat. French Montana kept afloat. YG needed that single with Drake. Where has he been since? He had 2 songs with Drake. Ever since those, you don't hear about YG anymore. Let's just be real, okay? Now, Kendrick is different. Kendrick is, some people take it and they run, and they don't need it ever again. Kendrick's a different kind of artist, A$AP Rocky, he didn't really need it again, but some need it over and over again. So it looks like Drake's going to do 520. Let's just go probably, I think it'll do 550. Iceman, right? By the time the week's over. But that's not it. Then he's got the other throwaway albums. I call them throwaway albums because they sound like experimental music that he just said, you know what? And these were in my analysis of, like, Iceman was the last contractual album. But they have all these things in a contract where they have an option and this. It was probably negotiated to exit the label. Like, I'll give you these 2. We'll do a deal on those. Let me go. And then we'll give it 6 months to breathe. We'll give the album 6 months to breathe, and we'll promote them, That's how I feel this happened, to be honest with you. But, you might not agree. And we'll see him sign another deal with somebody else. After this, you can't go back to Universal. It's almost impossible. They don't like him over there. Okay, the head of the label, Lucian, he does not like him. He backed Kendrick to try to get a better deal for Drake's re-signing. It didn't go that way. Whoever's managing Drake and whoever's advising Drake legally is extremely smart, and Drake obviously knows the business at this point. So. They've taught him the business, and he has an amazing team that figured a way out of this. We've never really seen this before. Even when 50 Cent went to battle with the Lucian of the Days, Jimmy Iovine, right? Jimmy Iovine was kind of back in Game at one point. And Game was a problem for 50, Jimmy kind of like in 50 butted heads on a lot of things, but 50 got out of it, but not as clean as Drake's getting away. Like Drake, 50's run kind of ran out after 7 years. Musically. It's just the facts, okay? Musically, it wasn't the same, okay? And that's because the Rick Ross beef. He didn't totally destroy Rick Ross, Like Rick Ross kind of like, it lifted Rick Ross up. And then Rick Ross got a hit record and he was out of here, right? Stuff like that, it's hard to recover from. Right now, we're seeing Drake after a 16-year run, right? Doing this move. It's pretty crazy. So both of these albums are 130K. So technically, you're looking at, 800K in record sales for this for this label in a week. That's 800,000. 800,000. So by the time they're going to get their money back for sure, and Drake put his own money up to promote this. So they're in the red with him. Maybe they were made whole. I don't know how that worked, but I don't know. All right. So we'll slip back into that in a minute, but Russell Simmons defends himself over being listed on the Epstein file. So, it's on this podcast with Mac G. Okay, people don't really link podcasts, but this is where you're going to want to go to watch it, right? It's Mac G Podcast and Chill Network. It's on this network, and he did a podcast with them, and he makes it very clear that he was in the files because some model wanted to give him a Bible, and it was through Epstein. He never went to a party or anything. Like, a lot of people are just listed in here, like They tried to list Jay-Z in here and a bunch of other people, but whatever. It's like everyone. It seems like everyone that was in entertainment in that time was listed in these files. Some more than others. Some actually went to the islands and everything, and you can look that up for yourself. Big Meech, someone's giving him some jewelry. I don't know. Some people they give him this black. I don't even know what kind of watch this is because there's so much. It's just flooded. I don't even know if that's worth anything when you flood a watch like that, but it's flooded out. Looks good. Could be whatever because I don't see any markings of a watch, but it's completely flooded out. Street style. That's how I call it when they flood it out like that. And Big Meech is making his moves. I saw an interview where The Game said Big Meech gave him duffel bags of money to throw back in the days. Cap! The Game wasn't even big until big in the rap industry until Big Meech was on the run. So what is he talking about? You might have seen him at a party in 03, but you weren't big enough to be pause. You weren't big enough in the music industry to be getting duffel bags. So to be them wanting to mess with you so bad. Then we got Drake dethroned. Okay, they're going to keep putting Drake and Kendrick Lamar against each other. Dethrones Kendrick Lamar for the most streams in a single day on any rap song. Blah, blah, blah. I'm sick of the comparisons. We already talked about this Universal thing. Round 2, TDE Smack. I don't even know who this guy is. Obviously, he's down with TDE. But, bro, you're just down with the label. I don't want to hear about, something big's happening really soon. Stop. You guys really needed this to push this podcast? Come on, man. Come on. We're just coming up with things now. I don't care if Kendrick drops next week. Who cares? I'm sick of comparing these two artists, On one of Drake's songs, it says someone sold their OVO chain. Someone said they bet it was Preem. Preem responded, says, "Why does it got to be me?" Drake and Boy Wonder. Sorry, I always say his name wrong. Boy Wonder. Laugh under the thing. Sorry, I've always said his name wrong, and you guys always get on me about that. It's yeah, I don't like these fancy little spellings of the name, easy, it's it's always great. Some thought it was Obi Bryan. He's not really, Obi's not really down with him anymore, I don't think. I think he's still cool with Drake and everything, but Drake was, at one time, was really pushing him as an artist. But I heard he got really into, merch and stuff, and kind of fell back from doing music, and then Drake kind of moved on, so they're just cordial at this point. They still follow each other and everything, but I don't know. I don't know what happened with him. I only know about him because someone I used to be friends with in Canada was friends with him, and this was before Drake, and I was like, oh, okay, this is before Drake was even popular, and he ended up getting cool with Drake in 2012 or 13. And Drake kind of signed him. I don't know. Here's Game pretending that Drake sent him a jet to go to Toronto. Bro, this is pathetic, bro. I'm going to be honest, because he doesn't have one picture with Drake. It's weird. Young Dolph shooter was sentenced to 20 years and claimed he was executing a hit put out by Big Jook. The family reacts, and they say, may God have his entire way with him and every other coward involved. 20 years plus time served will never be enough. Facts. That's extremely sad. He stole young Dolph from his family over what? Big Jook was just the worst, bro. Hold on one sec. Alright, so this is Finesse 2 times, and he believes that Moneybagg Yo was trying to, one of his people were trying to buy his contract. I guess he had gotten under Jay Prince's comments and said, how much for the contract, bro? We want to buy Finesse's contract. And, People be doing too much, man. So, finesse, obviously.
Tedrick. You got my number, fool. The f you put on the internet tell me some J Prince call me. I'm trying to buy for next contract. You got my number, nigga. I ain't no motherfucking mule. The f tell me like I'm a box of cereal or something, nigga. Can't no just sell me. The f you talking about, boy? You should have called my phone first, but I know what you were doing. You were doing it so I can say your name. Because like I said, everybody know I'm high in the algorithm right now. So you did this I can say your name so you can get some more customers for tax season. I'm the wrong name to say, fool. You ain't gonna get no promo on me, fool. I ain't lying, fool. I ain't lying, fool. Don't say my name.
Okay, so that's that. Hold on one sec. Got a couple more little things. Drake posts up him wearing Michael Jackson's signed glove. Yeah. You know that Benzino thought that Drake was copying him and inspired the glove thing because he once had a glove thing on a Michael Jackson glove on one of his albums. Bro, it's Michael Jackson. I think hopefully Benzino was trolling. I don't know. And we'll get to Boozy later. It's not really that interesting. And then Rick Ross posts up Iceman Killer. Rick Ross, you're going outside, bro. You and Khaled, it's nasty, bro. You guys are the worst, bro. Miami used to stand for something. I'm not going to put Miami on this. You guys used to stand up for Miami. It was fun times. And then you let things go to your head, you know. And that's it. This is Jordan Tower with JT News. Make sure you smash that like button, smash that subscribe button, and I'll check you on the next one. Peace.